Where? Oh, maybe it's in the room, maybe. Well, look.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
That's it.
So I welcome all of you to His Holiness Candramauli Swami daily class. Today Maharaj will continue on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, verse 37. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo, glory to Prabhupada.
With your permission, Maharaj, I will share the screen.
Yeah, you have to turn up your volume. Can hardly hear your voice.
I will change my microphone, Maharaj. Just give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
Is this better?
Okay. Speak something.
Is this better, Maharaj?
Yeah, that's audible now.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. With your permission, I will share the screen.
Okay. When do you go back to Croatia?
February.
20th of February? I'm going to give you some books to carry. Is that okay? 1, 2, 10, 20, wherever you
Let me see. Then I have more pages than I'm coming here. Because
Okay.
in
If you could do.
some books should.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Have to do it together. Kim vakritke swagam atmamarsi bhimo vedad diryatamam ma vyamuchat yasyangri pataranaburna sehe margam gadasya charatam vichintram. Please tell me whether the unconquerable Bhima was like a cobra, has released his long cherished anger upon the sinners. The field of battle could not tolerate even the wonderful playing of his club when he stepped on the path. Vidura knew the strength of Bhima. When Bhima was on the battlefield, his steps on the path and the wonderful playing of his club were unbearable for the enemy. Powerful Bhima did not take steps against the sons of Dhritarashtra for a long time. Vidura's inquiry was whether he had released his anger, which was like a suffering cobra. When a cobra releases its venom after long cherished anger, its victim cannot survive. Omagyantimirandasya ginarjana salakaya. Chaksun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pasyatya De Satarine Vancha kalpa tarubhischa vipa sindhu pevacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Bhima was, of course, very angry at the sons of Dhritarashtra. How him and his brothers were treated by Dhritarashtra's sons, headed by Duryodhana. But he kept his anger within. Now Vidura is asking, after the battle, how did he release his anger? Of course, all of the sons of Dhritarashtra were killed on the battlefield. And Bhima was the one that killed Duryodhana. Actually, Duryodhana was more expert in fighting with the club than Bhima, but Bhima was more powerful by strength. So they were fighting for 20 some days and nobody was winning. Bhima had such strength that it said it was comparable to 10,000 elephants. He was huge. Nowadays, we don't know, but the soldiers on the battlefield were not like little midgets like us running around. They were big. It says that Krishna was 14 feet tall, and many of the soldiers were up to 20 feet tall, powerful, and they had big, gigantic weapons also. So it was like almost like another planet. And Bhima was the strongest of the strong on the battlefield as far as physical strength. He was trained by Balaram. No, he was trained by, can't remember who taught Bhima how to fight. Doesn't mention. But Duryodhana, who was fighting against, this was towards the end of the battle, after all of the, after the sons of Draupadi were killed by Asvatthama. This was around the same time, actually. And so there was Bhima and Duryodhana fighting hand in hand with powerful clubs. Duryodhana was trained by Balaram to fight, so he was a very powerful, expert fighter. And Bhima just was very powerful by strength. So one was greater in art of fighting, the other one was more physically powerful. But they kept fighting. And he knew that no one was going to win. It was going to just keep going like that. But Krishna did something. Krishna did a lot of things to make sure that the Pandavas were victorious, even though he broke traditional rules and regulations for fighting. One of the fighting rules is you don't hit below the waist. You're not allowed to hit below the waist. But Krishna knew that the body of Duryodhana was like steel, except for his waist. That was a nice, interesting story. Duryodhana's mother was Gandhari. Gandhari was a chaste wife of Dhritarashtra. And because her husband was blind, she accepted personal blinding, following the principle of chastity, not wanting to be more superior than her husband. So she wrapped a cloth around her eyes. And she was actually could see, but she had this cloth just so she wouldn't be superior to her husband. So one time she said to her son Duryodhana, "You come and see me, and I will look at your whole body, and your whole body will become like steel." be invincible. Because of her chastity, when a woman is chaste, she has great power. So her chastity was the best. She's considered one of the greatest chaste ladies in the history of Vedic culture. So Duryodhana was coming to see his mother naked. He was walking naked because that was what she wanted. She wanted to see his whole body. So if she saw his whole body, then his whole body would be like steel. But when Krishna saw him going, Krishna knew what was about to happen. He said, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to see my mother." "You're going to see your mother with no clothes? You should wear some gumsha, some there's a term I forgot it, loyota or something. So he did it. He wrapped it around his waist. And then when Gandhari was there, he met Gandhari. She released her eyes, and when she saw, she made his whole body steel, but that part that was covered was not affected. So she thought, now my plan was frustrated by Krishna. So then, now this is much later, after the battle of Kurukshetra. Duryodhana is still there, and he's fighting with Bhima. Bhima's really angry. So, as we mentioned, one was more expert in fighting, the other one was more physically powerful. So the fighting went on and on. So Krishna gave Bhima a hint, hit him below the waist, which is against Kshatriya Dharma. You can't do that. And so Bhima took the opportunity and did that. And when he smashed his thighs, it broke his thighs. And then he collapsed and he was no longer able to fight. Although he didn't die, he was practically on the verge of death. And then Bhima left. Balaram was angry because of that, because Balaram's student was Duryodhana, and he didn't like the idea that Krishna cheated. So Balaram and Krishna sometimes have different opinions. So he left, and he went traveling for 20 years. That's when he finally came, after 20 years of travel, he came back to the area of Kurukshetra to see the relatives of the Pandavas at that time. So yeah, then this was the arrangement of Krishna, because he knew Duryodhana couldn't be killed because he was a good fighter. And so Krishna had done that many times. A couple of times he did something to frustrate the plans of the Kurus for destroying the Pandavas. He always protected the Pandavas. It says that if you follow Dharma, Dharma will follow you. If you protect Dharma, Dharma will protect you. Dharma Rakshita Raksat. Dharma Raksa Raksita. One who lives by religious principles will be protected by those religious principles. So the Pandavas were like that, even though they were cheated, they were unfairly thrown out of their kingdom. They attempted to kill them so many times by man-eating or Shastra, giving Bhima a poison cake. They put him in a house of lac, so many things. But Krishna, and even Vidura, understood what was happening and saved the Pandavas. Although the Pandavas didn't retaliate, they simply tried to tolerate it and maintain their existence. So here we're seeing a little bit about Bhima, very powerful personality. We just came back from Ekachakra. There is one temple, and there's a beautiful deity of Radha, Shri Radha Giridhari. And then there's two altars. And the altar on the right, there's the five Pandavas. And Kunti is there with the five Pandavas. And you can see Bhima, he's outstanding. He's huge. Yeah, so nowadays, as Kali Yuga goes on, people lose their physical strength. They lose their longevity of life. They lose their intelligence. They lose their memory. They lose their mercifulness. All of these are characteristics of the age of Kali. So nowadays, people are not very strong. But years ago, it was people were much stronger, much stronger. Okay, that's a little bit about Bhima. Let's go on to the next verse. Kachit yasoda ratayatapanam gandivad ganvo paratarir aste alaksito yaj charakuti gudo mayam kiroto girisas tutosa. Please tell me whether Arjun, whose bow bears the name Gandiva, and who is always famous among the chariot warriors for vanquishing his enemies, is doing well. He once satisfied Lord Shiva by covering him with arrows when Shiva came as an unidentified false hunter. Lord Shiva tested Arjuna's strength by picking up quarrel with him over a hunted boar. He confronted Arjuna in the false dress of a hunter, and Arjuna covered him with arrows until Lord Shiva was satisfied with Arjuna's fighting. He offered Arjuna the Pasupati weapon and blessed him. Here Vidura inquired about the great warrior's well-being. So we all know Arjuna was a very intimate friend of Krishna, and it seems like the Battle of Kurukshetra was centered around teaching Arjuna the eternal religious principles, and Krishna spoke what we know now as the Bhagavad Gita. But Arjuna was simply the recipient. He acted like he was an ordinary person not wanting to fight, but that was just a ploy so Krishna could speak eternal religious principles. Krishna does that. He used that. He created this situation where Maharaj Parikshit was cursed by a young boy. So that would be the setting the scene where the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. And now Arjuna was apparently overwhelmed with family affection and didn't want to fight against his relatives, friends, and well-wishers. But Krishna told him, Asocham and Vasochams twa Patyavadams Chibasate. Gatasums Agutatsums cha Nanu Sochanti Panditaha. A pundit. You're speaking like a pundit, but you're not a pundit. You're an apundit. In other words, you don't know what you're talking about. He said that to Arjuna after Arjuna gave so many reasons why not to fight. Krishna listened, but after listening, he told him, whatever you're saying, it makes no sense. Because those who know that they are not this body, they don't lament over the body. If the body dies, it'll die anyway. Whether it dies now or 20 years from now, it'll die. So why lament over something which is inevitable? But you're a Kshatriya. You have to fight on religious principles. You are my representative on the battlefield for bringing about eternal religious principles in the world by setting up the rule of Rajarishis, leaders who are blessed by religious knowledge and spiritual understanding. But Arjuna apparently acted like an ordinary person, therefore Krishna criticized him. And when Krishna criticized him, he woke up and then he said, all right, give me some knowledge. And then Krishna spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita, which was a discussion between him and Arjuna throughout the whole 700 verses, almost 700 verses. So Arjuna was actually, it says here, he obtained that famous weapon, Pasupati weapon, which was Lord Shiva's prized weapon. When Shiva wanted to test his strength by picking a quarrel over him, and Arjuna apparently defeated him. Shiva was satisfied with the fighting of Arjuna, and then he awarded him this weapon, and that was the weapon he used to kill Karna. Powerful Pasupati weapon, yeah. Lord Shiva's prized weapon. Sometimes Shiva is also called Pasupati something, I forgot. Pasupati what?
Pashupatinath.
Pasupati Nath.
Yes.
These weapons are personalities, they're not just dead machines. They're actually living beings. Pashupati Nath, the Lord of Pashupati. Here's a little bit about Arjuna. We're here with something about. So Vidura, he wants to know. He's inquiring from Uddhava, or is he inquiring from? Did he get to Maitreya yet? I don't think he actually reached Maitreya yet. Now he's inquiring from Uddhava. So yeah, it's just natural that a Vaishnava wants to know about other Vaishnavas. How are they doing? What are they doing? Where are they? When I remember when we were in the ashram, Prabhupada was traveling around, going to different places. We were always hoping that Prabhupada would come to New Vrindavan. And then we would always find out where Prabhupada was, what was he speaking, what was he doing, like that. I remember when our community leader came back from meeting Prabhupada in India, and we just gathered around and he spoke about what Prabhupada had said, how Prabhupada said certain things that changed the way he was preaching. It was interesting. We were always eager to get the latest Srimad Bhagavatam volume that Prabhupada was translating, or hearing about where Prabhupada was going, what was he doing. It was just like Prabhupada Gita. And if devotees got a letter from Prabhupada, then they would call the other devotees around, and the devotee would read his letter he received from Prabhupada, like that, to all of the devotees. So that was what we were always like, yeah, Prabhupada, where's Prabhupada? What's he doing? What is he saying? It was always interesting like that. I remember one time he said, Prabhupada came back, before we were chanting, Bhajashi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta. So Prabhupada said, what is this bhaja? Prabhupada was doing it, and he came up and he said, what is this bhaja? It's not bhaja Shri Krishna, it's Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya. That was in 1974, he changed. Before that, it was Bhaja, you can hear it, Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Like that. And there was another word inside there, Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita, it wasn't Shri Advaita, it was Jaya Dvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sarigor. So he changed it to Shri Advaita. Yeah. So it's Prabhupada did a changing of that. And then he also said, out of the 4 bodily activities, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, the worst one is oversleeping. Haribo. Oversleeping. He said, by oversleeping, sex desire becomes stronger. By oversleeping, you're wasting time because life is short. And every moment should be used to help achieve the goal of life. Money. Thank you, sir. Okay, so again, it's always a quality of Vaishnavas to want to hear about other Vaishnavas. It's just, how are they doing? How are they faring? Like that. Okay, so we can open it up for the questions.
Thank you, Maharaj, for enlightening us. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any question, comments, realization, please raise your hand. You can also type in chat window. I will try to read on your behalf. Also, my humble request, if everybody, if possible, could switch on your video, please.
Somebody could set up a.
Yeah. Okay. Prasiddha Chaitanya Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances in your lotus feet, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, there was there was discussion of Lord Shiva and Arjuna. So there was fight between Lord Shiva and Arjuna, and had Arjuna defeated Lord Shiva? Is there any type of
Yeah,
is it?
right. Shiva wanted to test the power of Arjuna, and he was pleased to see his expertise in fighting. Shiva could easily destroy Arjuna, but they were fighting.
Okay.
And but Arjuna didn't know that was Shiva. Shiva came in the disguise of a hunter. And he challenged the hunter because the hunter did something. I forget, something in relationship to a boar. And then they started to argue, and then a fight ensued. So that was Shiva's plan, just to see the greatness of Arjuna.
Okay. Thank you.
Amritana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Guru Maharaj, in the previous verse, we have seen that it is said that um Bhima has gathered his long cherished anger, and then he put upon this long cherished anger to the to the sinners. So, so
Yeah.
is this a way to control the anger?
Well, I think, how many times have I mentioned that? You can use anger in 3 ways. Otherwise, you have to keep it under control. If you don't control anger, anger will control you. And then if you're victimized by anger, then you can lose your Krishna consciousness. Jayatam Visayam Pumsam Sangat Sanjayate Kamath Sangat Sajayate Kama Kama Kroda Vijayate Kroda Bhavati Samoham Samoham Shriti Brahma Ritivam Sam Buddhinasa Buddhinasa Panashyati. That Krishna explains that by contemplating the objects of the senses, lust develops, and from lust, anger, from anger, bewilderment of memory, when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost, and when intelligence is lost, one falls down into the material pool, panashyati, again falling down. So this anger destroys intelligence. One becomes overwhelmed with the energy of anger and speaks and does anything to vent that anger. But you'll see Prabhupada used to get angry, but he was completely under control of the anger. He could turn it on, he could turn it off. Vaishnavas should be like that. If they have to use anger for a service, they use it, but then they pull it back when there's no longer need for it. That takes strong-minded. You can do it. But women are a little bit more emotional than men, and therefore when they attach their emotions to anger, they explode. More like a nuclear bomb is just like a bullet head compared to that. Oh, you have to be careful when you use it. So I mentioned, and I think you know also, you can use anger in 3 ways, right? One, when you find yourself being lazy, you can become angry at yourself to help yourself get out of this lazy mood. Oh boy, am I so lazy? Wasting so much time. I'm not going to be lazy anymore. And if I get lazy anymore, I'm going to get angry at myself and punch myself. No. Not exactly. Something similar to that. Get angry at yourself for being lazy. Get angry at your relatives when they try to stop you from becoming Krishna conscious. Tell them in so many nice words, decorated with all alankaras, embellishments, and various types of sweet adjectives that, shut up. And then the other one is, the last one is getting angry against the demons. Prabhupada says, all the problems in the world are caused by the demons. So they're causing trouble to everybody. The demons are always making plans to, get more money, get more power, to exploit more countries. The demons are the source of all disturbances in the world. Prabhupada used to get angry speaking about the demons sometimes. How, innocent people are being subjected to these demons, and they're just causing everyone so much unnecessary trouble. So these are the 3 categories where you can express anger. I think one is really relevant to you, right?
All might be relevant to me, Guru Maharaj.
Just
The Guru
pile up your dynamite in it.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, for sure. So Guru Maharaj, as you mentioned that we can use it for our for service also, for devotional service, for the purpose of devotional service. But I've seen that often you are misunderstood when even for the betterment, if you're trying to pull out your anger, even for the betterment to make the service better, still you are misunderstood out of your anger. So then how to
You may make sure you don't lose your intelligence when you're expressing anger. Anger and love are very strong emotions. Very strong. Both of those are very strong. They're one of the 2 strongest emotions. Just like Kamsa actually became Krishna conscious by being angry against Krishna, because all his anger was so strong that he couldn't stop thinking about Krishna and how to destroy Krishna. So he actually became Krishna conscious. So when another devotee is offended, one should speak out. If the spiritual master is criticized, one should speak out.
yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. A lot of lessons, Guru Maharaj, on anger, which at least I should learn.
Yeah, you have to learn how to use it and not be used by it.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Just like when you're talking, you try to control your speech by directing the words that are most appropriate in the discussion. So you think about what to say. And when you're using anger, you think about how you're going to express that in such a way that it's not going to tear you down or what else? You're not going to say the wrong things. Yeah, so your intelligence shouldn't be disturbed by the use of anger. If it is, then you're under the influence of anger.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you for the insights.
Hmm. Okay.
Thank
Do
you,
we have any
Mataji.
questions there?
Shidei Mataji, you raised your hand. Is there any question? Is
Namrata, Amrita Nam asked the very question that I was going to ask, so I got my
Oh.
answers cleared.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Good.
Maharaj, you mentioned this height of Lord Shri Krishna is 14 feet. In other lectures and somewhere I read it's around 8 feet. So which one we should take? Like, is there any place where it's mentioned the more
Well,
details, not only height, but the description of Lord Shri Krishna?
take them, depends on where you're getting the information from. I don't have the scriptural reference. I just heard that by word of mouth. I think Prabhupada also said that in one lecture. Krishna was 14 feet tall. It's not written, but I'm sure I heard it from Prabhupada. 8 feet? So, I mean, Krishna can be 8 feet, he can be 14 feet, he can be 2 feet. He could be in your heart 9 inches.
That's true. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realization, a wonderful opportunity to ask from Maharaj.
Yeah, we can speak about anger. It's a good discussion point. Bhagavan Chaitanya, I know you're thinking.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Several questions are racing through my head. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Guru Maharaj, when you get your body, you get some prarabdha karma and everything, you are given a particular situation, a particular home, environment, limitations, all these things are from your previous karma. So where do gunas come in? Where does anger come in this? Is this part of your package that you're getting? Or is it genetic?
Yeah.
Something?
Yeah, if you were somewhat subjected to anger and it's part of your karmic activities in your previous life, it may also be like that. See, children, they exhibit some of their characteristics when they're young, like 2 or 3 years old. Some are well behaved and some are terror on wheels.
True. Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, that's also part of the karma. Certain qualities that one may exhibit, certain characteristics, but then again, you're entering into a new arena, and then you're building more karma, and certain karma is also changing how you think, how you act and react that
Yeah.
may have been there from previous activities. So your early part of your life is very formative in the way your character develops.
Mhm.
Mhm. You have a mother that is expert at being mother, then that child will have all good qualities.
Hmm.
The mother is the most important part of the child's life up to 5 years old, at least 5 years old. If the mother's very loving, very caring, and knows how to take care of the child, guide the child, then that child will be, they'll be, let me say, successful, you might say, in life.
Yes.
But if he's abused, if he's neglected, then
Yeah.
so other people might say that abuse or not neglect or that care is also part of their karma. So they get a mother according to that karma also.
You answered my next question. That was going to be my follow-up. I'm like, then how did the mother, you got a bad mother?
Or a mother that's just not in tune with the word motherhood. To be a mother means full time.
But in all cases, there is free will, Maharaj, for us to change our destiny by surrendering to Krishna, etc.
By circumstances, by free will, by choice. Circumstances give you choices where you could move one way or the other. And then you're not changing, but you're starting to build another type of um, characteristic. It's like Bhakti Tirtha Swami used to say, his mother used to say, if you have, whatever you have, share with others. So he would do that. And he grew up in a very impoverished family. So if he had two sweaters, he would give one away to his friends. In other words, his mother always taught him to share, even if they didn't have very much, but still, his mother taught him to share, share, share. So he carried that throughout his whole life. He carried that throughout his whole life, always giving, giving, giving to others.
I do, Maharaj. I have one of those that books. I have to read it. It's
Yeah,
called The Mercy something. Yeah. Bhakti
yeah.
Tirtha Swami.
Black Lotus is the story of his life.
Oh, this one is called Mercy. I think this was him writing about Prabhupada,
Yeah.
Ocean of Mercy or something. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about, that's Bhakti Charu Swami.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Bhakti Tirtha Swami was one biography was done by what's his name? Satyavrata, I think.
Okay.
Called
Satyaraj.
Satyaraj,
Hmm.
called Black Lotus. That's the story growing up. But then there's a second biography that is still being put together now,
Hmm.
which is more inclusive.
I'll check it out, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Shridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Well, we have questions
Thank
on the floor here. We got 3, 6, 7 devotees sitting next to me, surrounding me, eagerly listening here. So we got Somadatri. She has her hand up and she would like to ask a question.
Sure, Maharaj, please. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, I have a basis for Guru Maharaj, what is in case like me? I'm not often angry, but when I'm angry, I couldn't express my anger.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't quarrel, I couldn't
Yeah.
hear, and then next day, or I can tell it's wrong, that's what I'm feeling, but in this moment,
The anger is there, but you can't express it. Well, at least that's good because that'll save you from doing the wrong thing.
but it's not, huh?
But it affects you.
It
It can also make you sick too. Yeah. So Somadatri Mataji is saying that sometimes when she gets angry, she can't express it. And it becomes a disturbance later on in her own life. So yeah, that energy has to go somewhere. So if you can't express it, what you do is just you 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 put a picture on the wall of somebody who you don't like, and you start throwing darts at it.
And now I learn that then next day I go to this person and tell what in normal way,
Mm.
tell what I mean and what going on.
Mhm. Yeah,
This now I begin, it's better, but
that's good. That's good because that'll keep me from getting smashed by you. So she says Guru gives her a hard time, but she can't express it. So the next day she tells him, yeah, you know, you did something, but I don't care. She's very nice. She's got a lot of fire, but she knows how to control it. That's good. Sri Devi, you're floating in an ocean of happiness.
Haribol, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to you, Guru Maharaj. I would like to know if it's possible to reach a point in our Krishna consciousness where we are totally unaffected by this emotion called anger, where we are so detached from the material energy and completely attached to Krishna that there's no question of us getting angry.
Well, great souls, they do get angry, but they get angry in a righteous way. Arjuna had to get angry in order to fight. Lord Ram was a Kshatriya. He was angry. So anger is not something you should try to dispel completely. Materially, yes, but not spiritually, it should be used when necessary. But even if you don't use it in spiritual circles, but only when you become free from all, I'm talking about material anger, when you become free from all material desires and any tendencies to fulfill material desires, then you won't be able to be affected by anger, because anger is simply the younger brother of desire. Unfulfilled desire brings about the energy of anger. Frustrated desire, unfulfilled desire, desires that were thwarted, other people's interfering with your desires, all of these cause you to become angry. So if you get rid of all of these desires, then there's no question of anger.
maybe satisfied.
Yeah.
Yes,
Then,
Guru Maharaj, I understand now that one must become attached completely to Krishna and Krishna's service. Then there's no question of trying to fulfill any petty material desires because they can never be fulfilled anyway and they'll never bring any satisfaction anyway.
well, on the material level, yeah. But for instance, there was one great non-violent proponent, and he um, was interviewed many times, and he said, under no circumstances will I become violent, will I become angry. No circumstances. So one reporter decided to challenge him and said, if I come along and I start, harassing and exploiting your daughter, what will you do? And then the proponent said, under no circumstances will I become angry or violent. And the reporter looked at him and said, my dear sir, you are violent because you fail to protect someone who requires protection. Therefore, your nonviolence is false. Yeah.
I remember also, Guru Maharaj, I think Srila Prabhupada said these words: a leader who fails in his duties, who fails to protect, who fails to perform his responsibilities is as good as dead.
Yeah, that means not qualified to be a leader. Sometimes those who are taking care of others, they have to use that anger for rectification, for the benefit of the persons they're taking care of. But it's all done as a service, not as. See, people get angry because other people are disturbing them. Devotee is not disturbed. He's just he's reacting to a situation that requires some force in order to ameliorate the situation. But not everybody can do that.
So one must become one has to, in order to use all these emotions in service to Krishna, including anger, one must reach the level of purity. Like Hanuman used anger to burn up the whole of Lanka, and we have Arjuna using anger to fight against the Kauravas, and Bhima using his anger to destroy the Kauravas, like that. So one must reach that level of purity where now that anger is completely spiritual.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Bhagwan Chaitanya Prabhu. Prabhu, you're on mute.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Guru Maharaj, I quickly wanted to mention that our temple president, Yugal Kishore Prabhu, you probably know that he's going from doctor to doctor in India, trying to take care of some ailments. We want your blessings and prayers for him also, Maharaj. All of us are in Detroit and the Farmington Hills community are distressed right now. I just wanted to quickly mention that.
Well, write to me and give me more details about.
Yes. Yes, I will do that. He came on video yesterday and told us what he's suffering from and everything. I'll give you details, Maharaj, privately. Yeah, thank you.
Do you have my contact?
I do, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's such a great soul. He's giving his life to preach Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Amritana Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. So the follow-up of what Sridevi Mataji was telling, anger can also be generated out of the injustice happening in your surrounding atmosphere. So how I see is you have to use your intelligence when you are using anger against injustice, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. When intelligence is lost, then you might say and do things that later on you regret or doesn't even makes the situation worse.
Yeah.
Everything has to be guided by intelligence, otherwise we're under the influence of emotion, and emotion without guidance can go anywhere. and say anything, do anything.
Yes, Gurudev.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you,
Okay.
Mataji. Shiva Kumar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, speaking on this topic of anger, on my introspection, Maharaj, I see that the reason why I succumb to anger is because I have unrealistic expectations in general. And that seems to be the cause of some frustration, and that frustration turns out to be anger on people around Maharaj. I just wanted to hear some words from you as to how kind of I can tone down the expectations to and have some realistic expectations on everything in life.
Well, you have to see the situation, what's realistic and what is unrealistic. Depends on the situation. But before you express anger, you should think before. Sometimes we say when something happens and anger starts to arise, you immediately count to 10 slowly. Help to dissipate the force of that anger. As Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, it's the all-devouring sinful activity in this material world. Lust turns into anger, anger destroys everything. Yeah, be contemplative instead of reactive. See the situation, try to ameliorate the situation by intelligent.
Okay. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for the answer. And I also just wanted to share, Maharaj, interestingly, in one of your lectures that I was listening, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, interestingly, you were talking about one of the austerities of the mind is satisfaction, being satisfied with simple things and simplicity. I think that's where I'm lacking, Maharaj. And quite interestingly, you talked about it in extensive way in one of the lectures. I just thought I will also bring it out, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Chant Hare Krishna, be happy. We can be happy just by chanting Hare Krishna. We don't need anything else. If you're seriously and trying to chant nicely, satisfied simply by chanting. And at the time you'll think, I want to keep chanting. This is so nice. This chanting is connecting with Krishna. And if the mood is right, and the expression of that same mood is right, then you're connected with Krishna. Some full connection is very rare, but to some there's some connection. Like the example would be, you have a fire at a distance. The closer you get to the fire, the more you see the light, the more you feel the heat. The closer you get to Krishna through the chanting of the holy name, the more you experience the qualities of Krishna and your own spiritual qualities also, such as peace, satisfaction, attachment, happiness.
Okay.
We have a formula. If nothing works, just chat. That's all. Just chat. But sometimes you have for a while before you can actually get into that mood of chanting. But it's going to happen sometimes when you just start chanting. You might have to chant for some time.
Hmm. Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, Prabhupada writes about that.
Hmm.
He gives an analogy. When something drops into the water and it falls to the bottom, it's something, some personal item. He said, if you try to shake up the water, then you can't see the item. He said, in the same way, when you get disturbed and your enthusiasm is disturbed or your situation is disturbed, sit down and chant.
Hmm.
After some time, everything will become clear,
Hmm.
easily.
Hmm. Yes, Maharaj.
That's the elixir for all problems in this age, the holy name.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Great.
So, Vrindavan, are we done?
Maharaj, there is no question here, but is there any question in the room?
Any questions here in the room?
This in my case, something interesting.
Somadatri's fired up to read something.
Yeah, in my case, what happened?
Here,
Uh,
there you go. Just put it around your neck. Don't go too far.
In my case, what happened in past, this because I couldn't express anger, influence on my body. I have got liver stones, and I was operated, and they show me full of stones, and they tell me in most cases this means petrified anger.
Petrified anger.
Anger, yes, petrified anger, this stones means. Now I try to be as much as possible not angry. With process, bhakti yoga and this knowledge.
You get a punching bag, you just
I put it.
it works. You put a picture of your guru on the punching bag.
Training, practicing.
Why are you giving me so much trouble?
Only once, I want to say only once in temple I get angry, and then this was Mataji ashram, and some Mataji really every day. No, months. These are months, not little. But when yelling, and then all here out, and they say, you are yelling. Show me a that yelling
Yeah, your name is opposite.
Yeah, this was
Okay, there's so many reasons to be angry, and there's so many reasons not to be angry. Okay, so therefore, do we have any more questions, or should we?
Maharaj, there is one question on chat from Brajahari Prabhu.
Rajahari.
Yeah, it's a related question. He's asking, Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. Could you please guide us on how to understand ahimsa in practice? Specifically, when is non-violence the highest duty? And are there situations such as when one is being physically attacked, where self-defense or retaliation is justified?
Uh, there's a definition of a ahimsa that's written by Srila Prabhupada in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Go to the see 13th chapter, verse number 8 through 12. It's 5 verses in one.
Yeah.
13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verses 8 through 12.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, now these are all qualities. One is ahimsa. So go down the page and Prabhupada speaks about ahimsa. These are all qualities of the devotees. It's a long purport. Just keep going down till you reach ahimsa. Continue. Go down the page. Non-violence there. There you go. Read that.
Non-violence is generally taken to mean not killing or destroying the body. But actually, non-violence means not to put others into distress. People in general are trapped by ignorance in the material concept of life, and they perpetually suffer material pains. So, unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. One should try his best to distribute real knowledge to the people so that they may become enlightened and leave this material entanglement. This is non-violence.
So it says here, unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. But people are suffering and you don't care. So you're allowing them to suffer. Pretty strong statement. That means you have to do something to relieve people's suffering. That means practice. That means preaching or doing something to give them Krishna consciousness. Does that help, Brajahari?
Guru Maharaj, definitely. I mean, this is helpful. So what I understood was essentially it's not only about bodily violence, but it's also about relieving people from material pain and suffering. And that essentially means you have to have compassion to go and help people.
Yeah, Krishna loves everyone, and if you help someone, you're actually serving Krishna by helping that other person. And that's the greatest form of service, to relieve another person of suffering. And suffering means material life.
Definitely, this is a very interesting perspective. I had not heard about it.
Yeah, there's other definitions which are more succinct, but this one is as broad as you can get it and more inclusive. It's like, so just like if you have a family and someone's suffering in the family, so you're concerned because you're connected. So you do something to relieve that person's suffering, whether it's mental or physical. And so in the same way, this is the family of Krishna's parts and parcels. We're all the same. Nobody's any different from anybody else. We just difference in body. We're all connected to Krishna. So the soul is actually suffering. Why? Because it's not connected to its source, and therefore it's lost. It's under the influence of the crazy mind, which is taking it this way and that way to various situations in the material world, trying to find happiness, and it just creates more suffering. So when a devotee sees that, they think, let me do something to help. And if they can't do anything, they can at least pray for that person anyway. But we should try to do something if we can. It's not always possible or easy to do things in every situation, but one can You know, just like probably devotees, they carry mantra cards with them. They meet somebody and they talk and they say, here, you can, if you want to get rid of your stress, anxiety here, chant this mantra. It'll give you peace of mind. Like people to the temple, explain the values of your life in terms of practice, your practice of Krishna consciousness. Nowadays, people are suffering so much, and at the same time, they don't know where to find relief for their suffering. They continue to do the same thing, do the same thing in a different way, and it just perpetuates their suffering. That's all. They don't realize that suffering is part of the material energy. It's built in. Krishna says, Dukkalayam Masasrata. This place is miserable, and it's built in. Suffering is part of life. Simply to have a material body is the first principle of suffering. And the attachments that come by way of the material body just compound one's suffering, that's all. Attachments go deep, and then we get attached to trying to enjoy something or find some benefit, but it turns out to be something opposite. Because nothing material can satisfy the soul. It can give some temporary relief from the body and mind, but that temporary relief cannot satisfy. Therefore, the solution is Krishna consciousness, or something that will help her pay people to take that next step towards Krishna, whatever it takes. Even if it's giving some prasadam, that's also helping. So when we refuse the opportunities to do something, we're contributing to that person's suffering. That person was put in touch with you by Krishna's arrangement, maybe so they can get relief. And if you fail that, then you're actually perpetuating their suffering.
No, definitely, that's a very beautiful way of thinking about it.
Yeah.
I think
Our movement is not to be satisfied within ourselves. Our movement is to satisfy Krishna by bringing more and more souls to him. That's Krishna consciousness. Our movement is, you might call it a preaching movement, but it's a movement of vairagya. Renouncing everything that is contrary to our relationship with Krishna. Vairagya vidya nija bhakti yoga. Knowledge and detachment. Detachment from material things, knowledge of our relationship with Krishna. So not everybody can give philosophical knowledge to others, but everyone can do something to help another person come closer to Krishna. That's always there. That's why Krishna would say, whatever you do it as a service to me. Yat karosi yaramasi yat jahosi dadasi yat tapasi takunte yat tat kurusha mararpanam. He doesn't say you have to give up your occupation. He says just use that as a service to me. Use that to bring others. The only reason I think that devotees work in the material world, there's no reason for devotees to work in the material world, but the only good reason is they can reach other people by their occupation, by their interactions, and that gives them a chance to help these other souls. Otherwise, it's a waste of time to simply work for the non-devotees. We're just wasting our energy and time. But the interaction gives us an opportunity to preach, to bring people in, to educate people. And if you don't use it, you're just wasting your life. Because to make a living, we don't need a non-devotee, organized, materialistic, high-tech, industrial society to live. Krishna gave us the formula how to live. But if you're out there, do something. We have many devotees who work in the corporate world, but they're not like the people they associate with. They're trying to do something to enlighten them also. We have our Bhuta Bhavana. He has a job, but he's always working with corporates to bring them Krishna consciousness by having programs within the corporation, bringing people to the temple, doing different things to invite them to take part in Krishna consciousness. We have one devotee, the husband of Radha Bhakti, his name is Hari Prasad. He has a business, and people come to him for help. And then he teaches them Bhagavad Gita. And he makes money. He has livelihood based on that. And he gives Bhagavad Gita classes, lectures, seminars, uses Bhagavad Gita as principles, because Gita is full of knowledge. You can use it in any situation. And some of the people that he deals with are very wealthy, extremely wealthy, high-placed people, but they're frustrated. So they're turning now to something spiritual for some kind of understanding. So he's there to give that. And he turns it into an application. It's called Upbuild. You can look it up. It's called Upbuild. And he helps so many people. And at the same time, he's getting some, some money from his work, which will sustain his personal needs, livelihood. So turn your business into a preaching program. You can do it.
I mean, I try to do this in my own little way. I work for a Swiss bank, so I've got colleagues. My boss knew that I was getting initiated. He was very curious about it. And when I met him, I gave him Bhagavad Gita in Switzerland. So I'm trying to do that.
Yeah, keep going. And Krishna will give you more ideas how to do it.
Yeah.
Take some of the books by Chaitanya Charanam. He takes the Bhagavad Gita and turns it into so many opportunities to solve material problems using Bhagavad Gita.
I recently had him come to my home and he gave a class, and it was well attended. And he had a book called Gita for CEO.
Yeah.
Which
Oh, that's good. That's nice.
Yeah.
You had some of your colleagues there?
Some of my friends were there. And also a long time back, I had gotten Gauranga Prabhu, who is an alumnus from IIT Bombay. So we got an event at Sundan Prabhu's house for all IIT folks in London. So yeah, I'm trying to do a bit there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the people that are most frustrated. Because they got everything and they're not happy. When you've been taught that success is like this, and if you achieved it and still you're not happy, then you wonder, I've been cheated. There must be an answer to my suffering, although I've achieved everything that I've tried to achieve. Some of them, the highest form of suicides are not among poor people, it's among rich people. People who have things. Biggest Indian families in India, I forgot the names of that family. Their son, he was a young teenager, he committed suicide. The family was
Hinduja.
I'm not sure.
Dharam Hinduja.
You know about the situation with their son?
I'm sorry, I can't hear that. What is that?
Yeah, this happened about 20 years ago. Their son committed suicide.
Right, right.
Was he Hindu?
His name was Dharam Hinduja. He was not allowed to marry the girl he wanted, so he made a suicide pact with her. She escaped, but he died.
Okay, the family went around to go to different tragedies, find out why such a person who has everything in life would give up his life. And they couldn't get an answer. Then they came to Radhanath Swami, and then they got the answer. He explained that, material life doesn't doesn't satisfy the soul. The soul has to be satisfied with the soul. Yeah. So yeah. No, nothing. And then we finally became a little bit peaceful and not about material success instead of making together. Okay, so anything else about it?
Sridevi Mataji, are you sharing something?
No, I just unmuted to say that. Sorry.
Okay, so Maharaj, there is no any other questions or comments or
Stop here.
so yeah, it's already 26 minutes over. So I hope, yeah. And thank you so much, Maharaj, for this enlightening class, especially on so many things which we covered on ahimsa, anger, and many other things on service.
Yeah,
Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
yeah.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai.
Can I make my announcement?
Yes, please, Maharaj.
Tomorrow at 8 o'clock Indian time, IST time, I have another online class with some people from Pakistan. And we're going to speak about Sri Ishopanishads. It starts at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. I'll send the Zoom link to Srimati as soon as we break here. And then she can spread it out to the devotees if you want to come on also. So we're going to be covering verses 9 through 14 on Sri Ishopanishads with a group of devotees here.
Wow, from Pakistan.
So we'll also be doing this class.
That's amazing.
Yes. She even contacted me and I said, yeah.
This is tomorrow 8 a.m. or 8 p.m.
8
Maharaj?
8 p.m. India time.
8 p.m. India time. Yeah.
Which is 2.5 hours later than this class starts.
Yes, good morning.
It's about
Yeah.
2:30 UK time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So we
But
will
we are
have this
going to
class.
have the regular class also, Guru Maharaj. We'll
Yeah,
have
that
the
was my
regular
question.
class also.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so, just check with Srimati will post it on the WhatsApp group and wherever else she posts it. I don't know.
Sure, Maharaj. I will send the message to Mataji. I will connect.
Okay, I'll do that right now. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Vrindavan Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Guru
Thank you
Maharaj.
so much,
Hare
Guru
Krishna.
Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Chaitanya, don't forget something.
Yeah, I'll send the details, Maharaj.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.